Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. You know, there's something special about American muscle cars. It's not just the rumble of the engine or the smell of gasoline and burning rubber, it's the feeling you get behind the wheel. It's a piece of history, a slice of Americana. Today we're taking a journey back to the golden age, a time when Chevrolet wasn't just building cars. They were forging legends right on the assembly line. We're going to look at some of the most iconic, ground-pounding, head-turning muscle cars to ever wear the bow tie. These cars were more than just transportation. They were statements. They represented a kind of freedom and power that captured the imagination of a generation. From the drag strip to the drive-in, these Chevys were the kings of the road. We're going to dive deep into the heart of what made them so special. We're talking raw horsepower, revolutionary design, and the incredible legacy these machines left behind. It's not just about the specs and the numbers, it's about the stories, the culture, and the soul of these incredible automobiles. So, buckle up, because we're about to fire up some of the baddest bow ties ever made. We'll explore the power plants that made them scream, the designs that made them timeless, and the cultural impact that cemented their place in automotive history. It's gonna be a great ride. Alright, let's start with the undisputed heavyweight champion, the 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS454. When this thing rolled off the line, it wasn't just a car, it was a warning shot to every other manufacturer out there. The muscle car wars were at their absolute peak, and Chevy decided to drop the hammer with this beast. The 70 Chevelle had this aggressive, squared-off body, a menacing blacked-out grille, and those famous cowl induction hood flaps that screamed, "Get out of my way." It had a presence that few cars have ever matched. But the real story, the heart of the legend, was what lived under that long hood. We're talking about the LS6 454 Big Block V8. Chevrolet conservatively rated this engine at 450 horsepower, but anybody who's ever driven one knows that was a bit of a fib. The real number was well north of 500 horsepower. It was a torque monster, churning out 500 pound-feet of pavement-shredding torque. This was the most powerful production engine of the classic muscle car era, period. It was basically a street-legal race engine. Think about that for a second. In 1970, you could walk into a Chevrolet dealership, check a few boxes on an order form, and drive away in a family-sized coupe with more power than most race cars of the day. It was insane, in the best possible way. The LS6 package wasn't just an engine, it came with a whole suite of performance goodies. You got a 4-barrel Holley carburetor, a high-lift solid lifter camshaft, and a beefed-up bottom end to handle all that power. It was built for one thing: absolute domination. Getting all that power to the ground was a challenge. You could get it with a Muncie 4-speed Rock Crusher manual transmission, or a heavy-duty Turbo 400 automatic. Now, if the Chevelle was the heavyweight brawler, the 1969 Camaro Z28 was the middleweight prizefighter. It was lean, it was agile, it was born to race. The whole reason this car exists is because of the SCCA Trans Am Racing Series. To compete, manufacturers had to sell a version of their race car to the public. And that, my friends, is how we got the legendary Z28. It wasn't about brute force, it was about balance and handling. The heart of the Z28 was its engine, a high-revving 302 cubic inch small block V8. 302 might not sound like a lot next to big blocks, but this engine was special. It started with a 327 block fitted with a 283 crankshaft, engineered to meet the 5.0-liter Trans Am limit. Chevy officially rated it at 290 horsepower, laughable on paper. The engine loved to scream past 7,000 RPM. In reality, it made closer to 400 horsepower. This wasn't a stoplight-to-stoplight drag car. The 302 lacked low-end torque compared to big blocks. To extract its power, you had to keep the revs up. It was a driver's car in the truest sense. It only came with a 4-speed manual transmission, and it demanded your full attention. Driving a Z28 properly was a skill, a dance between the clutch, the shifter, and the throttle. When you got it right, it was incredibly rewarding. The Z28 package was more than an engine. It was a complete performance system. Let's move on, giant killer. The underdog, the wolf in sheep's clothing, I'm talking about the 1970 Chevrolet Nova SS. The Nova was Chevy's compact car, the one your grandma might drive to the grocery store. Simple, it was affordable, and it was everywhere. But when you checked the box for the Supersport or SS package, You transformed that humble grocery getter into one of the most feared street machines of the era. The secret to the Nova's success was its incredible power-to-weight ratio. It was a relatively small and light car, so when you dropped a big, powerful engine under the hood, the results were explosive. For 1970, the top-dog engine option for the Nova SS was the L78 396 Big Block. Except, it wasn't really a 396 anymore. Chevy had bored it out to 402 cubic inches, but kept the 396 name for marketing. This engine was rated at a very healthy 375 horsepower. Putting 375 horsepower in a car that weighed just over 3,000 pounds was a recipe for incredible performance. The Nova SS was a rocket. It could hang with and often beat more expensive and much larger muscle cars like GTO's Roadrunners and even some Corvettes. Now we're going to talk about a car that blended size, style, muscle, the 1967 Chevrolet Impala SS. The Impala was Chevy's flagship, their top-of-the-line model. It was big, it was comfortable, it was beautiful. For '67, it had this gorgeous fastback roofline and a sleek flowing body that made it look long and low. It was a car that exuded class and sophistication. But this was still the muscle car era, and Chevy knew that even their big, luxurious Impala needed to have some muscle to flex. That's where the Supersport package came in. The SS wasn't just an appearance package, it meant business. You got bucket seats, a center console, special SS badging, and most importantly, access to some serious big block power. The top engine option for the '67 Impala SS was the mighty 427 V8. There were two versions available: the ultimate Q-ship. More than a muscle car, rolling sculpture, and a true American classic. Finally, we come to a car that pushed the very definition of what a muscle car could be: the Chevrolet Corvette, C3 generation, like this incredible 1969 Stingray. The Corvette has always been America's sports car, and in the late '60s, with big block engine options, it became one of the most potent muscle cars. It just happened to come in a stunning, exotic-looking package. The look of the C3 Corvette was a complete departure from anything else on the road. It was based on the Mako Shark II concept car, and it looked like it came from another planet. With its long, swooping front end, dramatic fender arches, and camback tail, it had pop-up headlights, and on the coupes, removable T-top roof panels. It was low, wide, and incredibly aggressive. This wasn't just a car, it was a statement of performance and style. Under that long fiberglass hood, you could get a whole range of engines. A stout 350 small block, all the way up to the legendary L88 427 big block. The L88 was an engine that laughed in the face of compromise. It was a full-on, all-out racing engine that Chevy sneakily offered for public sale. Driving a big block C3 Corvette is an assault on the senses. It proved that American performance could be sophisticated and stylish as well as powerful. It pushed the boundaries and set a new standard for what an American performance car could be, cementing its place as an automotive icon. What a ride! From the raw power of the Chevelle SS 454 to the track-focused precision of the Camaro Z28, the sleeper surprise of the Nova, the stylish comfort of the Impala, and the exotic performance of the Corvette, each one of these cars tells a unique story about a truly special time in American automotive history. They were more than just metal, glass, and rubber. They were expressions of freedom, ambition, and a little bit of rebellion, all wrapped up in some of the most beautiful designs ever created. Now I want to hear from you. This is always the best part. Head down to the comments and let me know, which of these Chevy legends is your favorite? Or maybe there's another iconic Chevy muscle car that holds a special place in your heart. Was it your first car? The one your dad had? The one you always dreamed of owning? Share your stories. I love reading them, and it's what makes this community so great. These Chevys didn't just rule the road, they defined a generation.